you awesome lot, it's Gran here with another episode of Vintage Story from the Rusty Gear server. Now then, I've got a lot to show you today, and I'm going to start off with making some embers for this fire so it looks a little bit more realistic. Now, I've been fettling about with a few things. As you can see, lampposts is one of them, but I don't like those, so I'm not showing you the details of those. Something might come along that's a bit more interesting later. But I'm focusing on embers at this moment. So, these are 2 ember blocks that Sid gave me. So, I'm going to try and chisel these to look like, well, to look like a fire, a roaring fire. Now, I wasn't quite sure where to begin at first, so I just started nibbling away until I felt it was a good shape to start. And that meant nibbling away at the bottom and nibbling away at the sides and really nibbling away everywhere. Nothing was coming to mind until I started taking the top off. And then it started getting a little bit more like the seat of the fire, if you know what I mean. If I'd have known what I was doing, I could have created that shape right at the beginning in a few seconds, but I didn't. The next thing I wanted to do, obviously after getting them on a higher plane, was to try and make the bottom part quite irregular. Because if you looked in a fire, a log fire I'm meaning, there was quite a lot at the seat of the fire that was a mix of logs and embers, so I was trying to get a sort of an irregular shape at the bottom. When I felt I'd nibbled away quite enough, I decided to try and have a go at some flames. Now, if you've ever sat and stared into a fire and just studied the flames a little bit, you'd see that they dance around all over the place, don't they? They flicker, they dance, but they're never in a straight up position. So I tried to create these flames to give that impression. So I chiselled away and tried to make it as fire-like looking as I could, with lots and lots of flames coming up, all at different angles, and what I tried to get was the feeling of them flickering. I'm not sure if I made it or not, but it was time to try them on the decorative chimneys to see how they would turn out. So this would be interesting. There were 2 blocks, obviously, so one went on one chimney and the other one went on the other. And it was quite interesting to see them together. I liked the flames coming out of them. That gave it some movement and an impression that it was actually very hot, which I quite liked. I added some claystone, dry stone to act as the logs, and I was trying to make it look like these flames were coming out of a stack of logs. I'm not quite sure I got there with this one. I think I could have done with something darker, but I don't think it came out too bad as a first attempt. I had thought of putting some angled ones in because these were all straight horizontal, but I thought that might get a bit too complicated, so I just left them all horizontal for this one. I wasn't quite sure, but I thought it was about time to try it in the fireplace just to see what it looked like. So I needed to get rid of these and add in the decorative chimneys. So I put those both in side by side. They actually filled the whole of the chimney, but next needed to go in the actual fire. Now that didn't look too bad. I was quite chuffed with that, but I think it needed more logs. It did look a bit better, but I think next time if I make a fire, and I will be making some more fires, I will do the logs first. I think that's probably the key to this. I didn't like the way the smoke was blowing though. It was all blowing out like it was on top of a chimney, being blown by the wind, which probably that's what was happening. So I extended the front bit out a bit, but there were places where the chimney were thinnest, where the smoke was still escaping, and I didn't like that. So I added a few more bits here and there, try and contain the smoke. And that really meant that I had to reshape the chimney quite a bit. But the smoke, at least, did stay in. Well, at least most of the time. I widened the inside of the chimney breast as well, so the smoke could go up there, get stuck up there until it dissipated. And it seemed to help, I think. And then I tidied up the outside of the chimney, because I'd moved the blocks around a little bit more than I wanted to. So I wanted to make it look quite nice on the outside as well. And I quite liked it. I quite liked it a lot. I thought it was a nice big fire, a flaming fire for in a pub environment. Yeah, I quite liked it. I'd need to make some smaller ones for the smaller houses. I'd work on those. All good so far. Can't see anything out to attack me. I'm only jumping so I can see if there's anything in the snow. You know, wolves and things. There we go. Now then, come on you. Come on now, what have you got? Have you changed them? Oh, look! Look! Nice! Nice! Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Bye. Right, I can now make my angel belt. Because if I just have, hang on a minute, I just want 10 on there. There we go. There's another 20 left. I'll keep collecting those actually. That is a good source of gold, isn't it? Very good. I like that. Now, what is, let's have a look. Okay, so I've got to make 4 plates now. Just 1 temporal gear. That's quite good actually. I suppose I should mention my attempts at chiselling lampposts for the village. I thought using torches might be a good idea, but you can only put them on one side of a block, so therefore all the chisel bits have to be behind it. And to be honest, I just don't like the look of them. I tried it in a couple of different materials and they just don't suit. Not at all. Now, while my gold ingots are cooling, I'm going to have a go at making a smaller fire for all the cottagers in the village. And after my previous experience of the pub fireplace, I'm hoping I'll make a better job at this. But that remains to be seen. Well, I quite like the look of that. I think that's a better fireplace than the last one. I don't like these here though, but yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, I quite like that. More luggage, less flame. Look at that. Nice. That is awesome. Oh. Oh. What? Oh. Right, I should be able to make it now. So, 4 plates. And a temporal gear. And feathers. What have I done with my feathers? Oh, down here, look. Feathers down here. I'll just spread them about. Oh, look at this. I have an angel belt. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me, that is going to be a terrific help as I'm building this castle. It really is. A wearable belt that when toggled allows a creative mode flight. Oh my goodness. I don't think in this one Sid's made it chargeable or the requirement to recharge it. So it's sort of like unlimited, I suppose, really. And you can fly about and speed it up and slow it down. But I have it now. Now then, I think that is the belt slot there. Let me just have a look. There we go. Nice. Wow. There it is. Oh yeah, that is so cool. Oh, yes. Fantastic. I've been waiting ages for those traders to have unlock pieces. Right, let's just have another look at this one. Yeah, I think I would like to have done these bigger logs, I think. I think like the one I've just done. I think these are much better. So let's go and find a cottage to put this in. Let's try this one here. Oh, I need decorative chimneys, don't I? Let me go and get those. Right. Oh, look at that. It fills the whole thing. But I've only got one to put in this time, so... Oh, actually, I've got to turn it round, haven't I? No, it's not letting me. I think I've got to do it... Hang on a minute, let me get it out. I've got to do it before I put it on the chimney, I think. Because I can't turn the whole thing round. Let me just get that out. Wow, that was hard work. Right, so pop that down there. And give that a twizzle. There we go. I think that's the right way around, isn't it? Yep, think so. Right, let's pop this back in and let us put this in there. There we go. Oh, I don't like what that smoke's doing, actually. I've got to think, this is not as big as the one in the pub, so there's not as much space for the smoke to rise. Let's just see if I can make a hole in this for the smoke to go up. Do you think it would go up if I did that? Let's just pop this up there and let me work from underneath. So I want... Oh no, that's too big. No, that's too small, but I'll have to add some more to it. Let's start with that first. I'll just get this all the way up to the top. Let's have a look. There we go. I'm going to take a little bit from the bottom. Can I use my planer for that? Don't know if you can do it on the inside of things. Let's have a look. No, that's no good. I thought it might, it's on the island setting, so I thought it might do it for that, but obviously it's not doing it on the inside. So I'm just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way and chisel it away. Right. Nearly done. There we go. Right, let's get that down and put it in place and see if all the smoke will go up there. I don't know if it will or not. I don't know if it's going to work on these smaller ones. Put that back on there. No, it's still coming out a bit. Is that going to dissipate, that at the top there? Well, it's not dissipated. It's still puffing away and it's coming out the side. So I'm thinking maybe these smaller houses will have to do without the smoke and just have the smoke coming out the top of the chimney on the outside. Because I don't like all this coming through here. The one in the pub is much higher, you see. It's much higher so the smoke can come out of the flames and then disappear up the chimney. But this is just not working. Yeah, and I don't want to change these anymore. I quite like these the way they look. Yeah, so I think we'll just leave these as they are, like that. I just can't think of any other way of doing that and including the smoke in it. Yeah. I mean, the fire's nice. The fire's quite nice. And we'll have the smoke on the outside. So when you go out, you'll see this. And that's quite pretty coming out of there. I quite like that. So, yeah, I think these are going to be left like that. Yeah. I'm just clearing some snow off the square so I can put some market stalls in. The book mentions market stalls around the square, which lead up to the castle gates. So I just want a simple market stall and then I'll replicate it around the square. So I'm going to start with these aged wooden planks. They'll need to be a bit thinner, but I'm just going to put those there for now. I need to work out what the inside is going to be like. I mean, a market stall, there's not much to them really, is there? I'm just thinking probably that high. Looks very chunky. Now, I've been looking around at market stalls and I have found something that I'd like to use. Now, I've looked at so many pictures of market stalls, I can't remember where I've seen this used, but somebody has used this before, it's not my idea. But I've got these carved acacia logs, and they've got sort of like a little, sort of like frilly bit at the front there, look. I quite like that as a stall. I'm going to use the aged thatch for the top to be consistent with the roofs in the village. I think that'll go quite nice, I think. So I'm going to put those on there, and I'm going to put those on there. And I think, in fact, it needs another level there, doesn't it? So I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to put another layer on there. Right, and I'm going to put some of the longer ones there. In fact, they can go all the way around because it looks a bit funny if they're not. Well, it does to me anyway. Right, let's get these off. There we go. Let's put some around the front as well. I think they need to go all the way around actually. So let's put one there. And one there. I need some corner bits actually. Haven't got any. Have I got any in here? I have. Okay, let's put those on there. Have that there. And that there. Okay, that's good. Oh, they do stick out a bit at the sides, don't they? I don't know if I like that. I wanted to put a few support beams on as well, just to add a little bit of depth to places. And I'm going to do a bit of chiselling, so I thought I'd put those on first. Actually, you can't hardly see them. You can see them a bit, but not as much as I thought. I'll have to put one on this side now if I put one on the other. There we go. Right, let me just complete this at the front there. There we go. And I'm going to try and make these sides shorter. I don't like it at all. I'm just wondering what it would look like if I actually placed these side bits on here and there. Let me take that off. Now, can I put a quarter piece on there? Will it look right? I need to take this one off as well. Oh, that's much better. Let me take some big slices out of here. I want it to look like a stall, and usually stalls are just well, they're a lot thinner, aren't they? Oh, can I get that off a bit more? I think some more. Let's use my planer. That's better, I think. Oh no, did that wrong. That's better. Okay. Okay, looking more like a stall. I think I need to take the sides out though. Oh yeah, that's better. How far can I go with these? I think I'll take it up to that line. And this one. Okay. Yeah, that looks like a stall. Now, I'm going to use the Vinconomy mod that we've got on the server and make trays that you can put things in so you can sell them. There are a few different things, and those are the shelves for them. They look quite neat, don't they? There are also trays as well. I think 2 on each will be good. Now, oh, they're crates, they're not trays. Okay, that's quite simple. So we'll have, I think we'll probably have 3 crates at the front on the floor, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, that looks alright. And the shop sculpture stall, I think that's just a flat piece that you can place things on. So I'm going to have one of those in the middle of the 2 shelves as well. I think that'll look quite nice. And that's all that is. So we'll put this on there. That is not too bad. Yeah, I quite like that. Now it is quite dark, so I'm actually going to put a lantern in there. I know I can't put a brazier in there, that wouldn't look right at all. But I think a source of light, if I could actually put oil lamps in there. I think I probably will when I've got a few. I need some more. But for now, I think the lanterns will do. These need something on the back, like something's holding them up. So I'm trying to put these on. I think I'll have to chisel them. They're a bit chunky. I think I can do another one, I think. Yeah, there's 2 there. So let's go another one. And then I'm going to take all the middles out as well. So let's do this. Start off with. Let's have a look. I think they could go smaller, couldn't they? Look a bit chunky. Can't do it from this side. Oh yeah, we'll do that, I think. That should look better. Yeah. Yeah, good. And I think I'll just have these tops off as well. Nice. Then I can just use the pantograph and transfer that over. Yeah, I like that. I think that's it. That's our market stall. So I've got to replicate that and do some all around the market. Just got these to do. Let's have a look. There we go. Nice. I've got to think about what I'm going to put in them now, and they've got to be valid things. And probably the cash register will be in the pub. I think. It's got to go somewhere, hasn't it? I should really save some of these. I should put some in cages, just in case. There we go. Oh, they're all going to that one, look. Loads in there, but let me just fill that up again. Can I get to it? There we go. Yeah. Looks quite colourful in there now. I quite like that. Right. I'm going to have a go at another lamppost. And I'm going to use the brazier for this. Let's see what I can come up with. Now, this was the original brazier design before I actually put the embers in. So I think I'm going to use this to fashion the top of this lamppost with this. But I have to make a few changes, I think. So I'm going to pop it up here. Now, has it got anything else in? Oh, I could do without those in. Let's use this on here. Remove duplicate and unused material. I haven't used this one on here before. Oh, that did something, didn't it? Has it got... Oh, yeah, it did shift it. I quite like that actually. I think I need to put a little bit around here. There you go. I quite like that. Yeah. The next bit goes on top. There is another bit that goes on top with that. Don't think... Yeah. And this has got 1, 2, 3, and with the top bit, that is going to be 4 pieces, which is better than the last one that I did. Oh, I just need to change that because that's the one with the embers in, and this is the one without. I will be putting embers in, but I might leave that for a little break from the castle. There we go. Pop that in there as well. No, not that one. Where is it? There. Right, let's go and see what it looks like. I'm going to put it right there. There we go. This is so much easier to put together as well. That other one has 6 pieces in it, and it was a bit of a faff to put together. There we go. There. Right, so that's got all its bits on. Let's have a look. I quite like that for this village. I think that's suited. Yeah. I like the wood in there as well. I quite like that. Yeah, I think I quite like that. I think it suits the village. Oh, it's quite rainy. But then it is April and the snow is going. Look at that. I've been dying to get to this stage. And today we are going to start the castle gate. The main gate of the castle. Now, I think that is central, isn't it? 1, 2. Let me put that there. And then 1, 2, we'll put one there. 5. That's 5 wide. I don't want it to be those though. I'm going to use these ashlar blocks and see how that looks. I've got to remember that this castle has been here thousands and thousands of years, so it needs to look the part. We'll have a look at gates in a minute, and I'm hoping there's one that's 5 wide. There we go. Yeah. Let's see if we can get one to fit in there. Right. Gates. There's a 5 by 5 one. That must be it, mustn't it? What? There's no metal involved? That is so easy. Well, I can't believe that's all it needs. Oh, my inventory's terrible. Right, let's go and see it in place. Nice. Okay, so how do I place this? I think last season I had trouble placing a gate. I can't remember what I did now. That's 5, isn't it? Let's take this out and extend this square a little bit more. Because you wouldn't have dirt under a gate, would you? There we go. Oh, that made me jump then. Night Watcher, I'll have to move that out. There we go. I'm not sure how far to have it in actually. We'll put another one along here. Let's put this along here. Right, can I place it now? How do I place this again? Oh, do I have to have nothing on each side to place it? Okay, let's just Let's just make another row. So this is going further back now. Let's just make this like that. And we'll put this across there like that. Now can I place it? Let's have a look. There we go. I knew there was something. Okay. That's quite a good size, I think. There we go. Nice. I keep forgetting that I've got my angel belt. Nice. Let's have a look at that. I think that's a good size. I think it is. I'm thinking I'd like to have a little bit of a different block here. Well, it's not a little bit of a different block, it's a whole different block. It's going to be granite cobblestone. So let's pop that in there and see what that looks like. There we go. It looks a bit blocky. Right, there's going to be 2 towers on each side of this gate, so let's bring this out a bit. Now that looks a bit blocky to me. I think I'd like to open this out a bit, so I'm going to take this down and have a block on the diagonal instead, like that. I think I'll have to take this in as well, because I think the ashlar blocks would look better, both being seen together. Alright, let's see what that's like. Oh, I'm not quite sure about that. I think I need to introduce some different blocks. Let me just fill this in. Can I get that going across the gate? That might look a bit better. I think I'll have ashlar blocks across the top of the gate as well. That don't give me much cobblestone at the front there, though. It all looks to be ashlar blocks at the minute. Let's have a look at that. I'm going to extend each side out to the edge of the square, because I think that's where those towers are going to come to. Let me just get a bit of light on these. I'm going to put these here, just temporary, because I haven't figured out the lighting yet for this castle. It's not looking too bad, actually. Now I've got to work out what I'm going to have around this gate. I know I want to try and fit an arch in, and I want to try and fit a type of banner in if I can. No, that didn't want to go there, because that's got to go straight up to the top of the tower, so this is not easy getting this to look right, I must say. How do these gates open? Oh, is that the right? Oh, I think they should open in, shouldn't they? Let's just turn these around. Right, and I'll have to get rid of this first. There we go. That's better. That's better. Oh, we need to fill those back in again. But I think that's the way it should go, I think, shouldn't it? I think they do open in. Okay, let me put these back on here. There we go. Now, obviously, I've been looking at a lot of castle gates while I've been trying to put this together. And one of the things I think I'm getting wrong is that this gate needs to go further back in here. So I need to make it look deeper, I think. So I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to go a bit further back. Like that. There we go. Getting a bit more snow. Can do without that, thank you very much. Oh, I've run out. Let's take one of these. There we go. I'll take these across here for now. I think I'll keep this cobble. I'm not quite sure how tall these gate towers are going to be just yet. I think it's got to look right though. I want to introduce another block here. I've gone for polished granite. Oh, it does look better with a different block, doesn't it? I think I like that. There we go. I think that should go right down to the floor. Now I don't want this middle bit to go up as high as the towers. I'm not sure if I've done with the height of the towers yet, but I think I'll take this down a little bit. Let's have a look. That looks a bit better. I think those towers want to be taller though. And I think the towers should turn at the edge of the square. So here, along here. So let's take this down. And we'll add polished granite there. And then this can come down. Right, okay, so you can see how the towers are going to be there. I quite like that. Now I've got to work out the tops of all the walls and the towers. They have lots of things on them that act as defences. I'll be explaining them as I do them actually, but I just want to prepare the top for actually making those. Now I'm going to put this plain bit in here because I want a large banner at the front of this castle, and this is what's going to act as the banner. I have a design ready for that, and that's what the shape of the gate towers are going to be, but they're going to be a lot taller. Right, so the battlements are going to go on top of these. And this is going to be the access between the two towers. And I've marked where the walls are going to go. Okay, these walls need to go up now. They need to go up higher, I think. Quite a bit higher, actually. Now, this is going to be a merlon. It's an upright bit of wall that you stand behind to protect yourself from projectiles. And next to these merlons, there'll be crenels, which is like a dip in the wall so that you can move over and actually fire your arrows. There'll also be arrow slits in the merlons as well. I'm just going to try it out and see if I can fire an arrow at the approaching army. I think that looks quite good. That seems to fit quite well, I think. Yes, anybody see me there will know they're in for trouble. Okay, let's have a look and see what that looks like. It still looks all too clean to me, it really does. Now I've been asking advice from one of the Better Ruins builders, who is quite an expert on castles. And if I use the stonemason's blueprint, I can create these cracked granite ashlar blocks, which make those ashlar blocks look very, very old, and I think are just what I'm looking for. I can also make aged polished rock as well. So instead of the polished granite, I could use those. So I'm going to make a load of those, and I'm going to go and change the ones I have on the castle at the moment and see what that looks like. Now that looks so much better. It really, really does. They both are blocks that look much darker and much more worn, and I think they fit in there really, really well. I'm adding these new age blocks to the tops of the merlons and the crenellations so that they stand out a little bit more. Look at that. That makes so much difference. It really does. Now these are the murder holes, and people used to throw rocks and hot sand and boiling oil and things like that down there to get at their enemies. I'm just using the pantograph here to copy that wall of merlons and crenellations, murder holes and whatnot, so that I can transfer it to the back of the tower. And I found this is the easiest way to do it. I will be using my hand wedge as well, and that is going to mirror them so that they're in the right place. So I did put these on before, but I'm taking these off because I think this is the easiest way for me to keep them right and do the right thing at the right time. So that's in there. I want my hand wedge, and I'm just going to mirror that so it goes over there. Now, I'm not quite sure what to do about these corner bits. I have thought of chiseling them diagonally, but I think I might just leave them as they are because they do look okay. I did a bit more texture to the walls here with some granite dry stone and some aged ashlar blocks there, and that sets the tone for the rest of the walls for the castle. I want to add a bit more depth to this gate front. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, I quite like that. I've been working on the banner that's going to go there, and I've worked out that I need a bigger space. So I'm going to stretch this patch out for as far as wide as I can in the hope that it'll fit. There we go. Oh, I've just run out. Need some more. I think that's looking good though. I quite like that. Can I make that any bigger? Maybe at the bottom there? Yeah. Okay, I think that's as big as I can make it. Okay, let's see if it'll fit. think that is the last bit. And there we have the dire wolf. That was a sigil for the House Stark. And the legend goes there's always been a Stark at Winterfell. Now I'm still determined to get my arch in, and I've been advised to move everything up and get it in there. Well, I've moved it once, but it's still not giving me enough room. So I'm going to move it right up to the top, right under that tower overhang. And I think I can do one now. I'm using the plain granite again. And I've chiselled at half an arch, and I'm using the pantograph to transfer it to the other side so it's exactly the same. I've done that for everything except the top middle one. I'll have to chisel that. And I'll just get this to meet at the top. I think those are just 3 in a row there. That's it. Right, I need to take that middle bit out now. Right, just transfer this bit and over here. And then I've got this little top bit to do there. There we go. I've got my arch in, I've got my dire wolf in, and I've finished all my battlements around the tower and the top. Well, that is the castle gate. It looks quite imposing when you come down the main street in the town, actually. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. And that sets the whole tone for the rest of the castle. So that's about all I can fit into this video. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one, when I'll be building more walls and planning out the inside of the castle. So take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.